Hello, Joanne Myers here, Math 150 at Franklin University. This is a quick tutorial and heads up for week number 3, the discussion. You're asked to find the problem that coincides with your assigned number, then find the slope, y-intercept, and x-intercept for your equation. You're also asked to find one additional point on the line. So then discuss what slope and intercept mean with respect to your problem, not just in general. And then 3, show your steps in finding your slope, the intercepts, and your additional point. So I've selected problem number 24. The equation is -4 plus 3x is the same thing as -y. Again, you have creative license to do almost anything you want to both sides of an equation. When I'm dealing with a linear equation, that means an equation that has an x variable and a y variable, no x squared, that's quadratic, just x, just y, one equation. It's called a linear equation because all the answers, all of the xy pairs that are answers to that equation will form a straight line. When you plot them on a coordinate graph, they make a straight line. So here's my equation, -4 plus 3x is the same thing as -y. I prefer to have this in slope-intercept form. It's what I'm most familiar with. By the end of this course, it should be, and hopefully will be, one that you are most familiar with. So I'm choosing to multiply both sides of the equation by -1. Why? Because I want a positive y, and negative times negative is positive. Now I have a +4 minus a 3x. Again, you have creative license to rewrite any equation that you are given by me, the test, Alex, so long as it has the same value. So this original equation, -4 plus 3x is the same thing as -y, is the same equation as y equals -3x plus 4. The reason I like it here, this shows me that my slope, when it's written in y equal mx plus b format, y equals mx plus b, where m is a number, b is a number, the variables x and y remain variables, the m is your slope. So the slope of my line, I can write it as -3/1 or as +3 divided by -1. My y-intercept is 0,4. And your y-intercept is where your linear, all the solutions to your linear equation, the y-intercept is where this line, this set of solutions, actually crosses the y-axis. So here, if I go to graph it, 0, 4 is 1 point on my line. I know that because 0, 4 is my y-intercept. The slope is -3. So what I'm going to do is go down 3 and over 1. However, I don't want those dots there. Down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1, or because -3 is the same thing as 3 over -1 and -3 over +1, I can go up 3 to the left 1, up 3 to the left 1, up 3 to the left 1. So all of these points here are xy pairs that make my equation true. I know all of the answers, all of the x, y solutions to that equation will be all of the coordinates that lie on that red line. Now I can pick one other point. To pick another point, Select any x value that you want, plug it into your equation, solve for y. Because we have it graphed, we can also just look at the graph. All right, so we're looking for the corresponding y. So here's my example. I'm going to pick x equals 1. Well, then I'm going to use my equation that I rewrote in slope-intercept form. Y equals -3 times x plus 4. If my x is 1, then I put a 1 where there used to be an x. And then do the arithmetic. -3 plus 4 will give me 1. So my y is 1. So y equals 1 if x equals 1. Now, in real life, we don't write all that much in math. We have a much more simplified way to write it. We write it as an ordered pair where the x is always the first number, the y is always the second number, and there it is. This point right here in green is my other point. That's showing my work. Oops. Discuss what the slope and the intercept mean in your problem, not just in general. So what I would say is that my equation crosses the y-intercept or crosses the y-axis at the point 0, 4. Okay. The steepness of my line is my slope. It's a -3. And then the point I selected x equal 1 and found that y equals 1. Sorry. So the point 1, 1 is on my line. It's on my line. This line, this red line with the infinite dots, is a visual representation of all of the solutions for the original equation. The original equation is y equals -3x plus 4. Yes, I've rewritten the original equation, but this is still the original equation we were given. All right. So find your slope. After you plot your y-intercept, that will tell you how steep your line is. Use the slope to find a couple more points on your line. Draw the line. Then explain where and how you found another point on the line. Another way to do this last part is to say, looking at my graph, if my slope starting at the point 0, 4, with a slope of -3, that means my vertical change is -3 divided by the horizontal change of +1. So I can go down 3 and to the right 1, and that would also get me to another point on my line, which is 1, 1. Now, for your reply, hopefully by week 3 here, you've recognized that we have very specific instructions as to what you need to include in your reply to a classmate. So the reply for week 3 asks you to figure out the value for 2 variables, A and B. A is the number of letters in your first name. B is your birth month. So I'm Joanne Myers. Joanne has 6 letters. I'm born in August. August is the 8th month of the year. So my A value will be 6 and my B value will be 8. And then we're instructed to use these 2 ordered pairs, 0A, which in my case is 06, and then the opposite of A, which would be -6, comma B, which would be 8. So these are the 2 points that I'm supposed to use in my reply. So respond to your classmate, step 3 here. Respond to my classmate by finding the equations of 2 lines. The first will be an equation of the line perpendicular to my classmate's original line, passing through my point 0A. So in my case, for me, that's going to be the point 06. And then that's part A. Part B, find the equation of a line parallel to my classmate's original line and through my point, -AB, which in my case is -6, 8. Now I go up, I find where is my classmates? So if my classmate had -4 plus 3x equals y, I need to figure out what is the slope of the line that my classmate had. So again, I multiplied both sides by -1. So I'd have a +4 minus 3x equals a +y. And so if y equals -3x plus 4, then the slope of this green line here is -3. The slope of lines that are parallel, like railroad tracks that are parallel but don't intersect, they're the same. The steepness of parallel lines are the same. And then the slope of the perpendicular is the negative reciprocal. So I have my original slope is -3/1. Then the reciprocal will be 1/3 and positive. Quick notation, these 2 lines here mean parallel. This upside down capital T means perpendicular. And perpendicular means the lines form a 90-degree angle. All right, there's your parallel and perpendicular. So part A, find the equation of the line perpendicular to the original line and passing through my point 06. The steps for finding the equation of a line for week 4, when you get to learn about point slope formula using slope intercept. Number 1 is find the slope. Number 2 is find the y-intercept, or your b. And then 3, write it as y equals mx plus b. So here we go. For A, find the line perpendicular to y equals -3x plus 4 and through the point 06. Okay, well, step 1, the slope perpendicular is a +1/3. Step number 2, the y-intercept, 0b, well, I have 0,6. Well, that would be my y-intercept because the y-intercept is 0b. So my b equals 6. So step 3 is write the equation y equals mx plus b, plugging in the numbers for your m and your b. So y equals 1/3 x plus 6, and I'm done. That's for part A, finished. Part B. Find the line parallel. I want the line parallel to my classmate's equation, which was y equals negative 3x plus 4, and through this other point, negative 6, 8. The negative 6, because I have 6 letters in my name. 8 is because I was born in August. So that's the set of directions. So step 1, the slope that's parallel is going to be a slope that's the same, so it's negative 3. Step 2. Step 2, find the b. In this case, they didn't give me the y-intercept, so my b is not obvious. So to find b, use the fact, that we already know m equal negative 3, x equal negative 6, and y equal 8 will make the equation true. So I'm going to plug this into the slope intercept form. So I have y equals mx plus b. I have an m, I have an x, and I have a y. Again, if you're wondering about this xy, it's because we're given this point here, x comma y. X is negative 6 whenever y is 8. And this part right here is what tells me my m is a negative 3. Okay? So y is 8 when m is negative 3, and my x is negative 6. And now I can solve this for b. I use a cursive b so it does not look like the number 6. 6 times 3 is 18. Negative times negative is positive. So I have 8 is the same thing as 18 plus b. You're allowed to do whatever you want to both sides of an equation. I want the b by itself. I have a positive 18. So I choose to subtract 18 from both sides. Subtracting 18 from both sides, 8 minus 18 is a negative 10. So that's step 2. And now step 3, I have y equals mx plus b. Now the equation of my line has to have a number for m, slope, has to have a number for b, and I have to have an x and a y left over. So my equation is y equals negative 3 times x plus a negative 10. Well, in real life, I'm going to write that as y equals negative 3x minus 10. And that would be my answer. And that's for part B, and the other was for part A. So go back, double check the directions. Find the line perpendicular, got it. Perpendicular lines have slopes that are negative reciprocals. And part B, the second, find the line that's parallel. All right, so the line that's parallel is y equals negative 3x minus 10. And the line that was perpendicular is y equals 1/3 x plus 6. Show and explain each of your work. This is it. This is all I need to see. You need to understand a quick reminder here. If I have a slope that is 7/8, then the slope that's perpendicular, and I'm writing a little tiny subscript, sub below, script is to right. I'm writing a little tiny notation to the bottom right corner of my variable m. That's that perpendicular symbol. So I know, okay, then the slope perpendicular to that is you flip the fraction and change the sign. So I have negative 7/8, so that, sorry, I have positive 7/8. That would give me a negative 8/7. Different example. If my slope is negative 5/9, then the slope perpendicular will be the negative reciprocal. The negative of a negative is positive. So basically you just flip the fraction and change the sign from positive to negative or negative to positive. If the slopes are parallel, they're the same. So if my slope is 5/9, then my slope parallel would be negative 5/9. Purple situation, if my slope is 7/8, then my slope that is parallel will be 7/8. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. The instructor would be happy to hear from you, email, answer questions. We're here to help you succeed. Keep up the good work.